folks, because a child in Toronto suffered life-altering injuries after being attacked by a dog on a playground where dogs are not permitted. Now, this happened over the weekend, and a 38-year-old woman has now been arrested and charged. Now, according to the Toronto Star, this comes after a string of recent dog attacks in the past year. So the big question is, what is the fix for this problem?
Ooh, This story is so upsetting, and I think it comes on the heels of a lot of stories that we're hearing about people being attacked and dogs being off leash when they shouldn't be and they can't be. I have a personal story. A friend of mine, she has a child with a disability, and she has a park that's right across the street from her house. Again, it is not an off-leash dog park, and yet on any given day, there are at least like 10 to 12 dogs who are running off leash. Her son, part of his disability is he has a lot of anxiety around animals. And so she has gone out of her way to really gently say to people like, do you mind putting your dog in? A lot of people agree, but sometimes they don't. And she said her dog has actually been barreled over by dogs. And so the question is, you have no recourse if you are someone in this situation. Now, this woman has been found. It took a bit. She took off. And so the question I think that so many parents in particular and people who are afraid of dogs are struggling with is like, how do we catch people who are doing this? And
how do you enforce it?
How do you enforce it? So I think one thing is we gotta have a hotline. Like, what about a hotline where you can call and call out people who have dogs? Again,
like report them?
Report them, and then have somebody who's a bylaw officer come and ticket them. Another thing, in Germany, some breeds have to be muzzled in public unless they have been actually evaluated for safety. And in Australia, dangerous dogs must actually wear a different colored collar so that people can identify them and choose, like, I'm not gonna go to the park today. I see that there's a dangerous dog there. These are just some, at least, ideas. We can't sit around and do nothing. A child has life-altering issues as a result of this incident. Unnecessary. It has to stop.
It has to stop. I totally agree, and I say this as both a parent and a dog owner. I've had Dobermans and German Shepherds my whole life. The problem is when you start to try to target the dog, you're not targeting the problem, which is the owner. The owner is the problem. Now, and what I say by that is we've had in Ontario since 2005, we've had a pit bull ban, as many people will know. It's been changed a little, but not by a whole lot. Humane societies around the country and across the continent, they do not support breed bans. I'll show you a picture. You tell me which one is the pit bull and which, right? You just take a look. These are all breeds that have been deemed pit bulls that were banned in parts of Texas.
So what is the answer?
I'm going to tell you something. Responsible dog owners like me would get really ticked off if someone decided they were going to start to ban Dobermans. Why? Because I'm a responsible dog owner.
But you know realistically that any Yahoo out there can go and call up a breeder and
you don't even have to call up. You just go online. Anybody could get a dog, whatever breed they want right now.
Yeah, but any dog, listen, animals are animals. Any dog can be a problem.
Listen, any
dog can be a problem.
I'm with you. I'm a dog owner, dog lover, but I saw this issue and I had a very small dog, and it was so funny. When I got my dog, I was like, you know what? I love my dog, and I'm just so happy that I got her, but I immediately knew, even at 2 pounds, she needs training. She needs to listen to my commands. I can't just let her go because I think she's cute. She has to be safe around kids. She has to be good when I drop her off at the groomers. Everybody deserves that. And the problem is, and I know it's gonna sound so sad to say, but I don't think you're gonna rectify this problem with a hotline or with officers. You're always gonna have people who are just gonna have these dogs as a status symbol or just to have them, and they're not gonna do the due diligence of training their dog. You know what? I like it. I've done it plenty of times, and I know it didn't make me popular in the dog park. I would yell at the dog owner.
Yes, I have too. Yes, Andrea. We have to police each other.
If your dog if you want to have your dog off leash, it's a flex, I know, but if you know that your dog can't handle it, every time it sees a jogger or anybody, it's jumping, that means that your dog does not deserve to be off leash, and that is your responsibility. And if you are in the vicinity of that person, because what I find so troubling about this story is, where was the owner when this child was obviously screaming and being dragged? Where were you? And where were the other people in this park? Did no one say anything?
They were trying, her and the father were trying to get the dog off the kid, and they couldn't.
And that's the part that I find so frustrating. But I don't think there's going to be, this is not going to be rectified because the cat is out of the bag, unfortunately. And my thoughts and prayers.
Don't blame the cat.
Not to drag the cat to this, but I also want to take the time to shout out the parents who are going through this in the hospital right now with their child. My thoughts and prayers with you, because you do not deserve this. So sad.
But let's go back to the enforcement of it, because in 1996, I was riding my bike and I ran a red light. I got a ticket. Guess who's never run a red light on their bike again? Me. Never. It's been enforced. What's the point of having a law? And there are off-leash laws. Like your dog, if it's not on your property and it's not in an off-leash park, it legally needs to be on a leash in this province at least. So if you're gonna have the law and not enforce it, what's the point?
I think that's the challenge. Is we have $1 billion deficit in this city, and we are cutting services. You're right, but we're cutting services everywhere. So there are quote-unquote essential services and quote-unquote non-essential services.
If you had one day a month where they canvassed and
it's not gonna work.
They would make so much money because almost everyone I know and every dog I see is off leash.
Yeah, where
they shouldn't be.
It makes me feel
Where
like dog owners who do this are the most entitled type of person I think I've ever met. Don't even talk to me about the Hershey Highway that are our sidewalks.
Hershey Highway?
It is abysmal.
Yeah.
It is abysmal. If you're gonna have a law, like just follow the rules.
No, listen, I hear you, but this is, like Mel said, this is a people problem, and you cannot control every single person because everybody thinks that they know how to train their dog.
You slap them with a $500 fine.
And their dog is different, but who's gonna be the person to police? There are small parks in little neighborhoods where it's like, yeah, you're playing with your kid right now in your little cul-de-sac.
But they know
and somebody has a
they're never
Rottweiler
going to get ticketed. And if you have been ticketed, I would love to actually hear, like, chime in on social media.
Maybe we should have like citizens arrest.
You know
because I'll volunteer to ticket other dog owners. I would.
Yeah.
I really would.
In a perfect world, there's one organization where you have to go to get your dog, and or before you leave, you have to have 6 to 8 weeks of training. Your dog has to be microchipped. You have to get pet insurance. In a perfect world, we have that.
Yeah.
But again, the cat is out the bag. I don't think
we got to learn to coexist. Kids aren't going anywhere, and dogs aren't going anywhere.
True.
We got to figure it out.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.